Sergio Perez stint at Red Bull is hitting new lows after another disastrous qualifying session, this time in Las Vegas. The Mexican driver failed to make it out of Q1, starting 16th on the grid, an unthinkable position for a Red Bull driver in a team that has been at the forefront of Formula One dominance. This marks the 6th time this season Perez has been eliminated in Q1, and the fallout from his performance could be career-defining. To make matters worse, Red Bull's chances of securing second place in the Constructors Championship are now slipping away. McLaren and Ferrari, with both cars scoring consistently, have now overtaken the Milton Keynes outfit, leaving Red Bull stranded in third despite Max Verstappen's brilliance. The Mexican driver failed to make it past Q1 for the 6th time this year, a stunning reminder of his struggles within Red Bull, a team that has dominated Formula One thanks to Max Verstappen's relentless pursuit of victory. Perez, now on the brink of losing his seat, was outpaced not only by Verstappen but also by drivers like Liam Lawson, who just edged him out to qualify for Q2. With Red Bull trailing Ferrari and McLaren in the Constructors Championship and Perez's lackluster form threatening their push, the team is now questioning whether the 34-year-old is still the right fit for the job. Perez's failure to progress beyond Q1 in Las Vegas, combined with his dwindling points tally since the summer break, has put his Red Bull career in serious jeopardy. Despite his contract for 2025, Christian Horner and Helmut Marko have hinted that the Mexican's future with the team could be in doubt. While Perez insists that the team will honour his contract, the mounting pressure put on him to perform, coupled with Marko's blunt assessments, suggests that Red Bull is already looking ahead to alternative options. Perez's performances are just no longer a disappointment. They are now a direct threat to Red Bull's bid for the Constructors' title, which, if they continue to languish in third place, could slip further and further from their grasp. To understand the depth of Perez's predicament, we must first look at the gulf between him and Verstappen, who is locked in a battle for his 4th World Championship. The disparity in their performances is now quite staggering. While Verstappen finished third in Q1 despite facing his own set of difficulties, Perez couldn't even make it out of the first phase. The gap between the two teammates in qualifying was approximately 0.8 of a second, enough to make anyone question Perez's place in the team. Helmut Marko, Red Bull's seasoned advisor, was quick to criticise Perez after yet another disappointing result. Yes, he was simply not fast enough, Marko said, referring to Perez's failure to make it past Q1. He conceded that the team could have tried a different approach with Perez's tyre strategy, but ultimately the driver's performance was the primary issue. Marko's comments were a direct indication of the mounting frustration within the Red Bull camp. This comes on the back of a season where Perez has scored just 20 points since the summer break, a far cry from his teammates' near-perfect run. Verstappen's dominance has only highlighted Perez's shortcomings even more, and with each missed opportunity, the pressure on the Mexican grows heavier. Red Bull, a team that thrives on excellence, can't afford to carry a driver who is no longer delivering at the highest level. Perez, despite his best efforts, simply hasn't been able to match the performance of Verstappen, who's now of course become a force to be reckoned with in the sport. As the season progresses, it is clear that Red Bull is at a crossroads with Perez. Marko, ever the pragmatist, has made it known that a decision regarding Perez's future will be made after the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. After Abu Dhabi, we will go through all the possibilities and then we will make a decision, Marko stated. This is a clear indication that Perez's position at Red Bull is under review, and while no immediate changes are expected, the team is evaluating all of its options for 2025 and beyond. Christian Horner, the team's principal, has also alluded to the flexibility Red Bull has in its driver contracts, stating that the team could even wait until the start of next year's Australian GP weekend to make a final decision on Perez's future. We are aware of the situation of all of the drivers who are bound to us by contract, Horner explained. We could even drag it out until Melbourne, although it's inevitable that at the end of the year we will sit down and examine all the information that is available to us. This suggests that despite Perez's contract, Red Bull is not bound by it if they feel that a change is necessary, with drivers like Liam Lawson and even Franco Colapinto emerging as potential replacements. Perez's spot at Red Bull is far from secure. Red Bull's long-term strategy will undoubtedly play a role in their decision, and if they feel that Perez's underperformance is hindering their progress, they may look to the future and bring in a driver who can complement Verstappen and push the team to new heights. For Perez, the explanation for his struggles is multifaceted. In his post-qualifying interview, he pointed to a lack of grip and fundamental issues with the RB20 that are preventing him from extracting the maximum performance from the car. "I think we got a fundamental issue at the moment with the car that is just not working for me," Perez said. "It's where the whole brain is going, trying to fix it instead of compromising." While Perez's comments suggest that he is still trying to understand the car and adapt to its nuances, it is clear that Verstappen has mastered the setup and is able to extract performance from the RB20 with ease. Verstappen's ability to drive around the car's weaknesses has only further highlighted the disparity between the two drivers. Perez, meanwhile, appears to be struggling to find any consistency or comfort with the car, and as a result, his performances have really suffered. The fact that Perez has admitted to not having the grip he needs to perform at his best is concerning. Formula One is a sport where every fraction of a second counts, and without the right car balance, drivers can quickly find themselves out of contention. Perez's struggles are not just technical either, they are mental as well. His inability to adapt quickly to the car's demands is now affecting his confidence, and this in turn is leading to mistakes that are further eroding his position at Red Bull. Looking at the broader picture, Red Bull's future is intertwined with Verstappen's continued success, but the team can't afford to become complacent. While Verstappen is well on his way to another world championship, the Constructors Championship has become a far more difficult target now for Red Bull. With McLaren and Ferrari closing the gap, the need for a strong second driver has never been more critical. Unfortunately for Perez, his failure to deliver has put Red Bull in a difficult position. The team's decision on Perez will have far-reaching consequences. If they decide to part ways with him, they will need to find a driver who can seamlessly integrate into the team and support Verstappen in the pursuit of both titles. The list of potential replacements is long, and Red Bull's options are varied. However, the team will have to balance the need for a driver who can perform consistently with the financial and logistical implications of such a decision. Marco's comments about Perez's performance have made it clear that Red Bull will not tolerate mediocrity. "With our performance today, we have absolutely no chance of second place, let alone first place," Marco said, alluding to Perez's ongoing struggles. The team needs to look at the bigger picture and decide whether to stick with Perez, whose performance is increasingly underwhelming, or bring in someone new who can meet the team's high expectations. As the season winds down, Perez finds himself at a crossroads. His contract with Red Bull for 2025 remains in place, but the question remains whether the team will honour it. The pressure to perform is mounting, and with each disappointing result, the possibility of him losing his seat grows more likely. Red Bull's decision on Perez will have a significant impact on the future of the team and its ability to continue challenging for championships. Marco's final words on the matter leave little room for doubt. "We will go through all the possibilities and then we will make a decision," he stated. The writing is on the wall for Perez, and unless he can turn things around quickly, he may find himself out of a job sooner rather than later. As we approach the end of the season, the future of Sergio Perez at Red Bull is hanging by a thread. The team is already making contingency plans for 2025, and with each underwhelming performance from Perez, the likelihood of a change increases. Whether or not Perez can turn his fortunes around in the final races of the season remains to be seen, but one thing is clear: Red Bull can't afford to carry a driver who is no longer delivering at the highest level. What do you think? Is Perez's time at Red Bull coming to an end? Let us know in the comments below.